So, good morning everybody, welcome and thank you for coming. We're just going to do a very quick, so for those of you that haven't seen us before, I'm Paula and that's Andy from Evergreen Active CIC, and we co-chair these Connected Wakefield meetings, formerly known as the Third Sector Leaders Group, and I think this might be our biggest turnout actually. It's our year anniversary of chairing, so it's lovely to see you all. So we're just going to very quickly, so that we all know kind of who's in the room. You will get a chance to speak in a bit more detail later on, but just very quickly, Scylla style, who are you and where you're from? Go Jill.
Jill Gaffrey, I'm the Wakefield Community Services Manager for the new Wakefield Community Enablement Team.
Elizabeth Smith, I work for Wakefield Safe Space as the data friendly worker.
And I'm John Pearson from Touchstone Community Enablement Team, so Jill's team.
Hi everyone, Scott Copeland, I'm Contracts and Grants Manager at Nova.
I'm Deborah Gittins, I'm Strategic Health Facilitator for People with Learning Disabilities. Hi, I'm Benny O'Brien and I'm Chief Exec of St George's. So welcome everybody.
Hi, I'm Gail Elbridge, I work for Yorkshire Spark Foundation covering the Wakefield district.
Hi everyone, I'm Fran Hankins and I'm a trustee for GAST and I'm from Alpha.
Hi, I'm Niraj, I'm Chief Financial Officer for GAST.
Hi, I'm Bridget Gill, Spectrum People, but also rep for Positive Mental Health Network on behalf of all of you.
I'm Kemi from Humanity First. We support the minority group in Wakefield.
Hi, I'm Holly, I'm from Alpha. Morning, I'm Jazz Jo, I'm a Live Well advisor.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Morning everyone, I'm Rob Greenland, I work for Participate and I'm an enterprise coach working with social enterprises and people setting up social enterprises and trading charities.
Hello, I'm Debbie Spencer, the Early Years Service Manager for St George's.
Emma Coyle, Children and People Service Manager at St George's.
Wayne Kelly, Adult Learning Service Manager at St George's.
Jade Wright, Engagement Partnership Service Manager at St George's.
Michelle Turner, Home Time Service at St George's.
Thank you very much. So I'll pass straight over to oh, we're well ahead of time, that's brilliant. I'll pass straight over to Wayne.
I think it's Bernie who's starting off.
And
Bernie needs to plug the computer in.
So give us an introduction and what we do at St George's. Which actually, given how much you do at St George's, that might. What's happened? Come back.
So, St George's. For those of you that don't know, St George's has been here since 1997. Yeah, that's right. And just a potted history, there used to be, this used to be a derelict building, and in the crypt hall where some of you have just been, there was a preschool playgroup and Home Start were housed there by the local church. The whole place got condemned for its electrics. So the preschool playgroup and Home Start had to move out. The church raised money, some of them giving their own money, and they managed to sort out the electrics. And the preschool playgroup moved back in and so did Home Start. At the same time, there were lots of initiatives going on back in the late 90s with lots of money. You know, back in those halcyon days, do you remember? Lots of European funding, and our current chair and vice chair worked with the church to set up a community association. It was then called Luxett Community Centre Association. And I'm going to embarrass somebody now and they're going to hate me for this. But that preschool playgroup was run by somebody who didn't want to see that playgroup fold because their child went there. They had no intention of working with children and young people. That person now is in this room nearly 30 odd years on and is our early years service manager. And that's the power of working in communities and working with people that live local. So I've embarrassed her. She won't talk, so I'm going to do the rest of it. It's Debbie. But I think the power of the voluntary sector and communities is when people go, I don't want this to stop for my family, I want to improve things, and you know, that's where. And I think that's the essence of St George's, and I think it's probably the essence of everything that you guys do as well. So, jump forward all those years, and we've been through many iterations. We've had lots of different funding streams: Healthy Living Centre, Big Lottery, Reaching Communities. We've got Reaching Communities now, European funding, all sorts of things. And we've worked alongside our partners. And partnership is our middle name because we can't do what we do without partners, whether they be VCSE partners or statutory partners, what have you. We know what we're good at, and what we're good at is reaching out to our community, but actually where we need specialisms, we'll bring specialisms in. We do have some of our own specialisms as well, and we share those with others. So currently we have 4 main service areas, and we've got the service managers here. We've got childcare, and in childcare, and Debbie oversees that, we've got 4 nurseries. One here, one in a children's centre on Luxett Estate, one in the children's centre at Sandal, and one, or the Castle Children's Centre as they call it, and then one in St Swithin's Community Centre. And those nurseries are all self-sustaining, although it's very tight at the moment, funding for early years, as you can imagine. So we have that. We also then have, guys, if I start going into your area that you're going to talk about, tell me to stop. We then have a Children and Young People service, and Emma's already said that she's the service manager there. Basically split into 2 areas. We've got Young Futures. Sorry? I didn't hear what you said, didn't I? It was obviously funny. Young Futures is for traditional youth work, play work type things with open access youth clubs, detached work and various other things. So that's there. And then we have Future Self, which is commissioned by, which some of you may know, which is 16 to 25-year-old mental health, emotional wellbeing service for 16 to 25-year-olds. And we do that in partnership with 4-5 other organisations across the district. We then have the adult and community learning, which is and about employability as well. So we host Help at the Hub, we do adult education courses, we do non-accredited courses, and I'm sure Wayne can talk more about that.
You've said it all there, Bernie.
We can talk to people about it. Maybe I'm going on. Tell me to stop, because I do like talking about our organisation. We then have our engagement and partnerships, which Jade oversees, which encompasses wellbeing activities. We do some community work with under 5s and their parents. We do a lot of engagement with our community to find out wants and needs to sort of to then help us to focus on where we need to go with the organisation. Have I missed anything? And then there's the support, advice and signposting through Help at the Hub and various other things. We have a food pantry, we have a walking wardrobe, and we can give you a tour later if you want. So that's our under 5s work, which is funded by the local authority under their Start Well programme. We do baby massage, we do weigh and play, and like a parent toddler group, and that's all about engagement. We do have a bit of an unadopted strapline, which is health and wealth by stealth. And what we mean by that is that people will come here for something innocuous, maybe just a cup of tea in the cafe there, and before they know it, they're on a course, or they're volunteering, or they're on they've got support from the walking wardrobe, or any other number of things. So, you know, people don't come here going, I've got a problem, can you help me? They come here and they just build a relationship with us, and through that relationship comes all of the brilliant stuff that goes on here. I'm sure some of the girls will talk about it. The 4 nurseries. See, I should have moved these on. No, like I said, these are the 4 nurseries. And the other thing, and I think this is something that we can all build on, when you're good at something, celebrate it, tell people. So the Oral Health Initiative, years ago, the Director of Public Health came on a visit and went into our nursery and saw that we did toothbrushing at lunchtime. Several years later, we are now commissioned by Public Health to do the Oral Health Initiative across the whole of Wakefield, working with other nurseries, early years settings, to get oral health improved, because it's quite shocking now the results. So a networking event today might seem like something that's not necessarily of use to you, but it may prove benefits down the line. So just get to as many networking events as you can. They might not seem important, but they are. Those connections are important. And it's going really, really well. So it's been extended for another 2 years, Debbie?
3, I think.
Another 3 years.
One now.
Okay. Wayne, am I going to hand over to you now? Because you can talk about this forever.
Thank you, Dave.
That's all right.
Hi, so I'm Wayne, I'm the Adult Learning Service Manager. I can't keep everything in my head like Bernie, so I just wrote it all. Right, so I've worked here for 16 years, and I started off here as a volunteer. 16 years later, I'm a service manager. Within my job role, the adult learning, we deliver training courses from St George's, from pre-employment courses to other courses, your English, your maths, support work in schools, different kinds of courses like that. Majority of courses are fully funded, but some of the courses are funded by St George's. We also have what I like to call hobby courses, which are courses that are a variety of purposes, such as giving people the opportunity to meet new people, which will support mental health and well-being. Also, I manage is the room hire within St George's, so we have 8 rooms to hire on a daily basis, from small rooms to little, to the big hall, to one-to-one rooms, which we offer to different partners to deliver one-to-one services. Help at the Hub. I oversee Help at the Hub. Help at the Hub is a service with different partners that give help and support. People like CAB, DWP, Turning Point, Credit Union. So these partners use our room to see different clients, and it gives the opportunity to give a wraparound support in a place that's more, let's say, to come to seek advice, other than going to town to see CAB in town, a bit daunting. So we like to think that we can offer that service at St George's, and we do. Something else I oversee is the community centre cafe, just as you all came in. The community centre cafe is run by Kirsty and supported by volunteers. Serves a range of reasonable priced home cooked meals. The cafe space has recently been refurbished and is a welcoming space for our community to meet friends. Also, it's a welcome space, a keep warm space, what we offer, which is warm spaces on an evening once a month. Within the cafe we have what we've just started called Kirsty's Cakes, and they're selling like hotcakes. And we also have just started external catering, as in small scale, to do buns, which has started off really well. Profits were reinvested back into the community centre. What else do I have? Well, I oversee the community transport, which is transport that's hired out to other community organisations. We use it to take people from our social groups on trips. We use it for to pick up elderly people to come to our lunch club on a Friday. And sorry, I'm not a very good speaker like that. So, yeah, so I do a lot of different things at St George's, but I love the job that I do, and like I say, I've been here 16 years now, so that's what I need to say. Is that all right?
So we mentioned health at the hub. So I'm Jane, Engagement Partnership Service Manager. So part of my job is to oversee the wellbeing activities and social groups for adults. So we have a range of different activities. For example, we support the volunteers who run the Sampling for Fun group at Thornley Stadium. We've got the lunch club, we've got a litter picking group, we've got chair-based exercise, and all of these activities are either run by our wellbeing assistant Kay, or they're run or supported by our volunteers. And all these activities are run sort of bearing in mind the 5 ways to wellbeing, which the signs were on the back and disappeared. So one of the activities I ever see is home time, and Michelle's here and we'll talk about home time.
Hiya. So I've been at St George's since about July. I have worked here once before and I left, but because I like the ethos of St George's, I've actually come back to do a new project, a new service called Home Time. So this is a partnership service. So we're in partnership with Age UK. So there is a team called the ITOC team within hospital, which is Integrated Transfer of Care. And they are supported by discharge nurses, social workers, WDH. There's lots of people in that team when people are discharged back out into community. Where I come into it is once those people are back home, then to try and help improve any social isolation, loneliness, mental health, physical health, well-being, then I work with somebody for a period of around about 8 weeks to try and find some activity or group that would give them, enhance their life, give them something outside, with a view that they've got something other than just being isolated on their own, and then they bounce in and out of hospital. So it's to try and prevent that from happening long term. So an example I can give you is a lady that had been in hospital, a local lady who has dementia, and I supported her for a number of weeks, and we found a couple of groups, and one group in particular she wanted to continue attending, but that group they had to go with a carer or support. Unfortunately her family don't live in the area, and she does have good friends and family, but obviously they're limited to the time they could give. So what we actually did was we identified a volunteer. We're very lucky at St George's, we've got a really good bank of volunteers. Identified a volunteer that works very, very well with this lady, and she's now been able to continue on. And then for me, I can then move on to the next person. Most of the people will be able to attend things independently. It's a case of building confidence with them to be able to keep going to these groups. But we recognise that there will be a group of people that will need that ongoing support, and that's where the volunteers come in.
So Michelle's mentioned our volunteers. We actually have about 60 volunteers at St George's, including young people and our trustees. So we cover a real big range with our volunteers. So in the last year, our youngest volunteer was 13, and he'd come to do some volunteering for his Duke of Edinburgh Award, and our eldest volunteer was 80. So we like to think that we have a volunteer opportunity for anybody here. So for example, we have volunteers in the allotment with our under-5s activities, we've got volunteers in the nurseries, we've got a volunteer in the cafe, the minibus drivers, the minibus chaperone is a volunteer, our food pantry is run by volunteers. You might have seen outside that we've got a book swap, that's run by volunteers. We have volunteers on reception. Literally everywhere you go at St George's, there's a volunteer and we couldn't run without them. I want to tell you a story about one of our volunteers and how he came to be part of St George's. So he has lived in the area about a year. Previous to this, he was living with a partner and that relationship ended and he ended up homeless and living in a hotel for about 6 weeks with 4 children in one room. One of those children was a teenage daughter. He ended up being housed in Lupset and he found St George's, so he was in temporary accommodation. He had everything there provided for him and his children started attending young people's activities. He then found out about the food pantry, he's come to our walk-in wardrobe, and volunteers play such a vital part in our food pantry. They get to know people, and I'll talk about the food pantry in a minute. At the end of this 12 weeks, he turned around to the volunteers and said, I'm really struggling, I need some help, I've got a permanent house, but I have nothing in this house. So the volunteers supported him to put in an application to the Prosper Together Fund, which is a grant that we can provide tangible items for people, and that's come from Prosper on the back of their What's Up Wakey research that found what people were living on the edge. So something might happen that pushes them into poverty. So we were able to provide him with beds and a washing machine. I said to him, if we couldn't give you a washing machine, what would you do? And he said, I'd wash my children's clothes in the bath, and I genuinely believe that's what he would have done. Anyway, so on the back of all this support, he said, I want to give back, and he came to volunteer. So it shows that when we have the volunteers, they don't just come to volunteer, we can give them so much more support. So I mentioned the food bank and food pantry. So we actually, we've run a food bank for a number of years, and that's providing an emergency food parcel when somebody is in a crisis situation. That doesn't help them long term, that's a bit of a sticking plaster. So in June last year, we set up our food pantry. So those of you who don't know what a food pantry is, it's a membership scheme where people pay £5 per week and they become a member for 12 weeks. And in that 12 weeks, it gives them an opportunity to save some money, to seek other support that we offer here. For example, help at the hub, they might sign up to do some courses, lots of different things over those 12 weeks, and we can really get to know them and they get to know and trust us. The food, they'll get about £30 to £40 worth of food, so a really good opportunity to save some money. As you can see, they'll get covered items, they'll also get fresh fruit and vegetables. There's toiletries, there's household cleaning products, there's sanitary products, there's frozen food, there's refrigerated food, and they can go in and choose the items themselves, and that gives them the dignity, choice and hope, and it's a really nice opportunity. And we are part of this bigger food pantry project that St Swithun's are sort of hosting at the moment. So sometimes when they come to the food pantry as well, they come to our walk-in wardrobe, which we can pass on to Emma. We'll tell you a bit more about that.
I don't know how to use a computer though. Which button is it? Is it no, seriously? Anybody?
If you just press the right arrow.
Right arrow. Right,
yeah.
It's nice actually coming here. I thought I wouldn't know anybody, but I know quite a few different people all around, so I think that's a good way how St George's works. The walk-in wardrobe, give you a little bit of a history about it. We used to have a bike project. It was in a container around the back, near the Sky Talk, around the back of the church. And I think we tried 3 times. 3 times we tried it. Each time, like, the bikes got nicked or the tools got nicked, and we'd find bikes discarded all around Lupset. And then one day, Prince's Trust came up and said, have you got any projects you wanted to do? Do you know when you're on the spot? And I thought, one thing kids always come and ask us for at that point is if there's any spare shoes going or coats going or if we had any deodorant or any sanitary stuff. And so, flash of inspiration, well, there's a container there, we could make it into like a wardrobe. Didn't really think that one through. So on the first winter, a lot of the stuff went a bit mouldy, a bit smelly, and we're thinking it's not as dignified as it could be. That Princess Trust did a brilliant job, and we've kitted out with some local organisations. And as it went on, we linked up with some other people, so Small Steps Uniform Bank, Tiny Hands Baby Bank, And at the minute, Farms Lane Garage give us 50 quid a month to kit it out with toiletries, the sanitary stuff in particular. And that was a lot of our young women who don't go to school, can't access the period of poverty, and they stopped doing the Red Box project. So that meant a lot of our young women were not actually going out of the house or really struggling because they didn't have the sanitary stuff to see them through the month. So Farms Lane Garage give us a little bit of that. It doesn't have any funding, we're seeking funding for it at the minute, but I think last summer when we were doing Happy Healthy Holidays, I think it was at least 70 kids got uniforms from there. I think easily over 50 with shoes and trainers. As quick as toiletries come in, they go out to people. It's done discreetly, so it works like a little shop. So somebody can come in, they can move into the estate, whether it be in a safe house, or they've just moved into the area, or young people setting up home, or just having a really tough time, making your money stretch. It's really dignified. It's an appointment with Leslie, you come in. If you need something that's not there, we work also closely with Wakefield at Community Gift Box, and they can set up, say, pans, duvets and everything. So it's a real good community approach. So you can come in, we work downstairs under the crypt, so literally you can come in at one end of the hall and you've got the food pantry and you've got the emergency food parcels, then you've got your Young Futures team. The next room on is Future Self, and the next room onto that is the walk-in wardrobe. So literally when we have a young person come into our service, they might be homeless or present as homeless. And I think it's just a cracking way at the hub, so they can see DWP in the church one afternoon, they can come in and get their food, sign up to the food pantry, do a budgeting course with Future Self, come to activities in Young Futures, step in for the mental health in the next room, and go home with a warm coat and shoes. So I guess that ends that little corridor downstairs, but it really is they come up and get some food as well. So it really is a good place to come and be seen. So you could come in feeling like crap, and by the time you've left, you've got something warm to wear, you've had food in your belly, you're starting to manage your money, you've got a bit of hope. So in a nutshell, that is the walk-in wardrobe used by everybody. So it set off with kids needing coats, and it's ended up as a real community-based room. Right button, we have the glasses. Community transport now. Right, so Young Futures. I like this bit, so this kind of really links to your bit in the first days we were doing it. So Young Futures runs a variety of activities. When I first came, I came to 3 hours a week. I came to help out at a youth club, so that'll teach me as well as Wayne. But it's Young Futures was a children in need venture then, and the background to it was a group of young people were just saying there was nothing to do on the estate. I think that goes back how many years, Bernie?
Oh, probably 13, 14 years now.
And they wanted a youth club on a Friday night as a means to do something other than
the other thing that they said that was powerful was because if we do it on a Friday night, it'll stop us drinking on rec.
Yeah.
They recognised that they were drinking alcohol and they shouldn't be.
Still like it's different young people. A youth worker is never out of work as people grow up. But so the Young Futures. So we at the minute how it works. So we were funded by Children in Need, and that's kind of where I came in. At the minute, term time we run some contracts for what used to be the youth service, Wakefield Families Together. So we do open access youth provisions. So that's like your detached work, your centre-based youth work. We also run a van from Young Lives Consortium on Friday. So if you see a big white van, it's not the prettiest of things, but it's basically a little mobile youth provision. We go up to Jubilee on Friday nights. And then we do our junior stuff over here. I guess one of our kind of little things I'm most proud of is the A to Z Spectacular. So if you talk about co-production and building resilience, for young people, they work through the alphabet A to Z, and each week they'll try a new food beginning with A, and it's co-produced because they'll say what they want at the end of each week, then you step into the next week with their ideas. They'll learn a game, again it's all to do with that letter. And then they're just building up their skills, something they can take home and play, something about whether it's all about me or safety or something about how to make friends. It's whatever the young people want to do. And then at the other end of that, you've got the older young people, and at the end, there is an issue with knives and upset, so we're working really careful around that and giving people a safe space. A lot of young people refer to St George's as their safe space. And with that we also look at technology poverty, so we have a little room of computers downstairs, So it's kind of giving young people the chance to keep up with peers in a time where just about everything's online, and if you haven't got a smartphone, there's not a lot really going on for you. Everything's on there, counselling, job centre. So yeah, we kind of manage that the best we can with the technology we've got downstairs. So we, like I say, for that's mainly 11 to 18-year-olds, and then in the summertime we have Happy Healthy Holidays, winter and Easter. So we work with this terrible provider. I think they'll change their name to Evergreen, but but they're fantastic. So they're first up, aren't they, for I think you're doing one for us this winter, and it's a brilliant session. It's a cook and play, so they can come in and literally learn how to cook a meal from healthy ingredients with Paula, do some higher adrenaline activities with Andy in an afternoon. And the young people love it so much because they think they're doing all these brilliant cooking and they're learning skills. It's just, again, building resilience and life skills. And these are a couple of the pictures, I think, from the last time. What was that shady looking? So Happy Healthy Holidays, again, it's aimed at kids with free school meals, but we recognise on Lupsit that there's also a lot of hard-working families who are struggling to get anybody to, pay for expensive holiday provisions. So we open it up. We always hold some seats that for people who might be struggling and working. So it's free school and other people we know need help. And we always try and get a few bus trips for families as well. So we usually do a seaside trip or somewhere where they can actually have like a mini holiday in the summer. So when you go back to school, you can say, actually, I had a brilliant summer. I didn't really go hungry. I went to some fab places. I made some new friends. So, and we link up with a lot of providers, so that's the indoor football centre. Who else we kind of work with at the minute? We work with Compass, who've taken the Young Emotional Wellbeing Service, so again, building up resilience and keeping people happy and healthy, as the name suggests. So if you do want to find out any more about Happy Healthy Holidays and for our younger members, so we've got a cook and play session, Create and Chill, Mindful Me and a skate swim trip over to Donegal, and they're all free. So if you know a family who's struggling, just please let them, we're doing the bid this week, Friday, I've got an extension now. And then, as part of our Young Futures work a few years ago, we were invited to put in a bid really to see if we could deliver this service. It was something highlighted. We had a lot of young people who were really struggling with their mental health before COVID. And I think the Wakefield landscape looked very different then because we didn't have a safe space and we didn't have like the connecting care team and we didn't have Future Self. And I do think we're doing so much better for emotional and mental health wellbeing in Wakefield. I do think, and like the good stuff like apple tree allotments, there's loads of good stuff we can be using. So this service, if you've not heard of it, it's for 16 to 25-year-olds and it's around emotional wellbeing and mental health. To be honest with you, the main issues and reasons people come through our door is often homeless, often young parent, haven't got friends, social isolation, low mood, anxiety, issues around gender, sexuality, adulting being a hard thing to do if you've not got any support, nobody tells you you've got to pay your water bill, or actually how do you make friends if you've moved into a new area. They're quite they're tricky for any of us, I think. But it's at the minute it's not time limited. We're currently working with just under 100 different young people in that age bracket. So we've got a small team of 7 downstairs. Well, we'll be a team of 7 in January. Fortunately, I think Evergreen's gone from strength to strength. So Andy is also a worker over at Future Self. So he's leaving us.
Awful boss.
But it's a situation like we've pushed Andy from you.
I know, it's like full circle, isn't it? It's so far, I'm getting definitely downstairs. But it's a really good one because how it works is a young person comes in and you see them. So this might be a young person who's disengaged from statutory services, or there might be a care leaver or a young carer. Might be a neurodiverse young person who's never had their diagnosis explained to them, so they come in and they think they're mad, but actually they might have ASD in a neurotypical world and just be struggling on that part. We have young people who have more serious things going on for them, whether social care be involved for their own kid, or if there's domestic violence, and unfortunately in some cases there may be a marriage in place. So it's us kind of working in a way that puts the young person at the centre, and we build on a one-to-one basis, hopefully, connecting them with the communities, connecting them with other groups, connecting them with friends, and slowly, one young person, I want to show the film, but technology still, but as he described, his world is getting bigger, and I think that's what we want to do. We want to make people feel connected to others. We are social beings, and we do need those connections. But with that, then it's upskilling them. So the whole point of Future Self is the contractors wanted to do YFC thing. So it's funded by GP Confederates, and like I said, we cover the west of Wakefield. But it's about seeing that individual. It's not rocket science. It's about caring for them, building up their skills, and then hopefully they will engage with other services where they need. But it's based on care, trust, and then a really good kind of holistic approach. And like I say, we are 9 to 5 on this, but we can link up with people like Elizabeth who run Safe Space. And I'm sure everybody knows about it. Have you done your talk yet? Are you doing a Safe Space talk? But it's a really good service. So when we're not there in the night time, we can introduce somebody in the daytime to Safe Space. So on a weekend when we're not open, they can make a phone call to Safe Space at 6 and then take themselves there. But if we've already introduced them in the daytime, it's less scary for them then to go on them by themselves, make that scary call and so it's about making the world a bit more accessible to young people who access their service. Anyway, I've got, if you want to know more, because it is condensed, simple referral form for the young people, and there's the little leaflet. So you literally, it's a QR code, it goes through to our referral form, or a piece of paper old school if you like that. And if you're interested how it works in timescales, there's a little flow chart, but we essentially contact the young person within 2 days. They're allocated within a week, and then we work with them on a smart plan, so each plan is unique to that young person. Probably missed absolutely loads. I don't think I run another service now.
I just add, so Future Self started, 18 months ago?
Yeah, this is our second year,
And I started with Nicky as the deputy manager in January, February, March?
January.
The progress that's happened over that period has been absolutely immense. It's evolved into a complete new entity, and it's absolutely incredible. I'm very biased, I still can't technical work, and my boss is with, but it's an amazing project for itself. In fact, the whole St George's, I think when I went to the interview, I said that this feels like a bit like a home, and it feels like the grandparents just kind of wrapping your arms around, and I think that's really been embedded in my mindset of this place. We've worked here previously for some projects, but it's an amazing place. I'm very biased, but it is an absolutely amazing place, and the people here, it's not just about working, taking a kind of salary and walking off at the end of the day. It's the real passion, and there's a lot of compassion and care for people here, and I'm massively very, very happy and glad that I worked here, the privilege of working here.
God, I don't know if you're on stage, so.
If it wasn't for me being personally involved in what we do, there's no way I'd leave this job. I think it's a wonderful job, and the people that they care for and make differences is amazing. So I didn't expect it to be, but even if you weren't here, I still would have said that. But yeah, it's an amazing place and an amazing group of people that I have absolutely privilege of working with. So thank you so much for allowing me to be here.
We're not very good with technology though. We need to look at.
It just takes a bit of time, doesn't it?
While Wayne is sorting that out, thank you, Team St George's. I mean, I thought I knew what you guys did, but again, I'm sure that's just the tip of the iceberg. You know, obviously when we've been working with you here, we've seen people come in, so we have experienced your service firsthand, but yeah, it was so much more than even we knew, or I knew certainly. So thank you for that. And I guess obviously the very purpose of these meetings is that if I thought I knew what St George's did and was blown away, the chances are some of you feel the same. So make those connections, swap those numbers and email addresses. If you can refer in or just have a conversation if you can use the space. I didn't realise that you hired a variety of rooms out. So yeah, I'm sure there's something in there that we can all.
Bernie, can we have a copy of the slides?
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah. Do you want to email them to me now? Thank you. So yeah, just to give a whistle stop update from across the district. The last couple of weeks, I'm sure you're all in the same position. There seems to have been a lot of Bridget and I are getting a place together, seeing more of each other than at the minute than our family members. But loads of great stuff going on across the district. Absolutely, always has been. But there just seems to be more now than ever. All great stuff. So just really an update on the stuff that I've been at. So the VCSE Voices update for anybody that was at the Nova AGM last week. Lots of great work going on with members from VCSE organisations sitting on the board, Wakefield Council. Scott, have you got kind of a handful of the different boards at the top of your head? There's health and wellbeing, isn't there? There's young people, so there's safeguarding, there's more opportunities for different people to get on board with those. Again, I will send these slides out, but if you want to have a look at the Nova website for a little bit more about that, see what people are on what boards and read the updates. So basically they're acting as a conduit between VCSE, statutory services, and there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes to make some much better links between the two sectors there. So do go and have a look on the Nova website. Positive Mental Health Network, Bridget, you mentioned earlier. Again, PMHN is it's a collaboration between VCSE and
Statutory, yeah. I mean, it was Tracy Leach who originally came up with the idea, but we've just kept it going and it's really successful.
Yeah.
But it's a membership organisation. It's not constituted as anything, so anybody can sign up to it and be a member. There's a fortnightly newsletter. We also have a place on the Mental Health Alliance where we represent you, and actually there's a deep dive into the voluntary sector with data that's going to be in there this month. So at the moment, I was just looking, I've just got it up. Any organisation can contribute to this data dashboard, and there are at the moment Age UK, Apple Tree, Bring Me to Life, Man Matters, Mindful Movers, Rosalie Riley, Safe Space, Spectrum People and the Youth Association. I was just having a chat with Bernie about St George's being on there. It's quite simple to get the data on there, but we're trying to show what we do within the voluntary sector back to the statutory sector, because it's actually preventing potentially people having to go and call on very scarce services. So there's an awful lot that happens within that network, and we also now are doing reflections on an individual or an issue that's come up, and we're trying to reflect back, and not just at a Wakefield level but at a West Yorkshire level, to the ICS, so within health, about how maybe we could do things differently, and some of the things where we think we can get them to think again about different things. So the first one's going to the deep dive, and Dawn wouldn't mind me saying it's Dawn Bland, because she's such a strong voice within Wakefield. But you know, 90% of the time she's fantastic, but 10% of her time she really struggles, like anybody does with enduring mental health issues. And it's how we help them when they're in that place. And Dawn is somebody who would always speak on a stage and talk about it. Some people don't necessarily want to be named, but we can learn so much from that. And it is that bit about people's voices being heard direct, that they don't have to necessarily go to a meeting where everybody's dressed in suits and it's acronym after acronym and they've got to repeat themselves a million times.
I'm actually seeing this, thank you Bridget. So yeah, if you do want to get involved with the network, either email Bridget or myself and we'll put you in touch.
Can we just mention Right Care, Right Person as well, just because it's such a prevalent issue at the moment. If people haven't picked up on this already, the wellbeing checks that you used to be able to request via West Yorkshire Police or other places in the country, other police forces, they don't exist any longer. Some organisations haven't yet come across it and know that that's happening, but we I raised it at the AGM last week, and since then West Yorkshire Police have got back in touch, and I know Rachel Hale is leading on a piece of work around this, but we're just really concerned as we come up to Christmas that, you know, we'll learn of somebody, it might be through St George's, it might be through Appletree or any other organisation, where we're really concerned about an individual, and normally we would have requested that check, and if you ring West Yorkshire Police, they say we don't do them any longer, call the ambulance service. And I spoke to West Yorkshire ICS last week, the chair, and raised this, and he is looking for some live examples because they want to try and influence how this might be picked up. So I know of one, it's actually through a staff member whose mother was worried about a neighbour and rang, and the call wasn't made, and the chap was dead. But by the time, and I don't think anything could have happened because I think it was a heart attack. But when they made that call, nobody would go out, and it was the ambulance service, and then it was the fire service, and it took a couple of days. And we all remember the story of the lady in London who was left for 18 months. So I just
How
think
do people get those examples?
if you've got any live examples, I've said to Sean, who's not Sean, whatever his name, Keir, that I'll send some through. So please do send them through to me. Or to the Positive Mental Health Network, or send them through to yourself, and then you can send them on to me. We probably need 3 or 4. He's got one from Bradford, I've got one from Wakefield, but we could do with a couple more. And just about how you then had to overcome it, and it could come through Safe Space. I mean, presumably you have got a route in though. I don't know. I'm kind of asking the question because it's a obviously it's a statutory kind of offer.
Yeah, staff escalate things to ambulance and single point of access.
Yeah, so it's still not ideal. It's not as good as it used to. I mean, Dawn always was on West Yorkshire Police's register, and they would always go out when there was an issue. But that wouldn't happen now.
Gas involved.
I've been in touch with Stan about
Right.
it, yeah, and Daz Dooler and lots of other people as well, because we've all come across it. I presume you have at St George's.
Yeah.
I think historically it was a lot, especially during COVID, we had quite a few young women who would harm themselves, and it was always the police, but it's locating them first, so the ambulance and the police are often better at getting into some interesting areas rather than the ambulance. At the minute, I think we've been kind of working, and we're at that lower level, and it's not in COVID, but I will ask around, Bridget, see what I can find in terms of individual experiences.
And I mean, I know that in the past that there was a chap, this is about 18 months ago, but he was out near the canals, and I linked up with Cap and various other people. We got hold of his mother, who then we found him, and you know, but it is that bit about sometimes it's us working together. I always remember the tin opener with St George's, and this was the early days of lockdown, and there was a family locally, and they were using a screwdriver to open up cans, so we got a tin opener out there very quickly before a bigger accident happened. Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's
really
people need
important
to know.
though.
People need to know, definitely. So the other thing, I don't know if anybody else has accessed this, but I was, excuse me, given the opportunity to speak at one of the Live Well teams meeting a couple of weeks ago. Very interested to hear about everything that we did. We spoke about menopause support sessions that are going on across the district. I know we have varying degrees of referrals from Live Well. People have got different experiences of that. But if you feel that you're not getting referrals and you're open to referrals, do contact Shannon. Don't tell her I told you. You know, I did ask if this was open to any sort of VCSE organisation. She said absolutely. And you just go in and have sort of 10 minutes, you know, on their meeting. Because if they don't know about what you're offering and what you're doing, and like us, our projects vary all the time. We've got a lovely shiny website, but actually we don't use it very well. So everything that we do kind of goes on Facebook. So just being able to say that, you know, if you're sending people to our website and they're going, well, there's nothing, you know, it's much better to look on the socials. So do utilise that opportunity if you feel that you would like to work more or work better with Live Well.
Working in progress.
It is, well, yeah, that's your job. Oh, I don't know, duplicate that. Connect to support reminder. So I think it was back in Pontefract in the summer, we had a lady from Connect to Support. We had an update on it at the last PMHM meeting. If you're not already on there, again, it's the directory of care services, adult health and social care. You can upload your own organisation, you can upload individual activities and sessions. It'll get approved by the team at Wakefield Council, but again, it's going to be rolled out. It's a really, really useful resource. Again, if you're not on it, people can't see you, so if you're offering your services and sessions, do take a look at that. And then this came up at the Thinking Differently meeting, which we're definitely going to have a look at, comprehending core costs. So it took us to get to a point where we realised that actually we weren't calculating core costs into our session delivery quotations. We were like, oh, what's happening? £20, this is amazing! So yeah, and actually, sort of joking aside, I mean, we had a bit of a light bulb moment, and we were like, maybe we should do that. And it's made a big difference to us. You know, your funders want you to be around, so you need to calculate core costs into you. I'm probably preaching to the convert, you probably all know this. It just came as a bit of a surprise to us at that time. But there is a charge of £55. It's a 1 hour online course, and the link is there. So again, it's on the Nova website. Is that on the website?
No, but I'll send it to you. I think that came about, didn't it, as a direct request from the organisation participating in that work. And I think it's useful. She's got some very large, organisations that that is bread and butter. But likewise, people who are setting up and who are taking on new pieces of work and bidding for more funding, it is important to consider. I'll try and find. I've got another article as well, which is like, why some title something like why core costs and not core costs. It's essentially saying like it should be in there. It is essential to.
The assumption as an adult you should know everything, and if you set up a business you should know it, and we don't. And walk into a room when you expect to know things. We weren't made aware of this until someone told us, and we realised, so anything that can provide those tools for people, and if people want the options there, not to do it. I think for people who think they know what to do and realise actually they're missing a big gap in their kind of business or their venture, it is really important to try and offer and make people aware of. And if you don't know, you don't know. We didn't know until somebody made us aware, and we quickly realised we need to fundamentally change the way we.
Can I just ask, who are DSC?
Directory of Social Change.
Right, okay. It's interesting, the National Audit Office have a bit of guidance for their commissioners on, they don't call it, there's lots of different terminology.
Directs and indirects and all sorts.
Yeah, they've actually got a bit that is guidance for their commissioners that says you should be accepting core costs.
Yeah. Is this something that locality offer?
They do, yeah.
Yeah. But it's quite simple to manage your core costs, but I think if it's only yeah.
But it's there, so, and if there's another link then, if send that over.
I think there's multiple dates as well, so I think it would be useful if anyone does get on one of those upcoming ones. I think there's the first one, March next year.
Yeah, we've got
then again, let's try and share that if it is useful, so that worst case scenario, if it's rubbish, people are not wasting another £55, and if it's really good, then we've got that.
So actually, and again, the beauty of networking, so these are March, May, July, September, November. It could well be that we all chip in, we come here, we hire a room, buy some coffees and Kirsty's cakes, and we all sit round.
Photoshop just one person sat at a
and we do it together, we split the cost and share the learning. So that's exactly what these meetings are.
Yeah, and it's only an hour, so you can build in some peer stuff after that, some conversations. Great idea.
Yeah. So we are a few minutes over, but we would like to hear your bragging rights. If you want to, there's loads of fruit and mince pies and all the rest of it there. If you want to take 2 minutes and refresh and grab something, and then come back and we'll crack on them around the room. No? Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm confused.
Think of something right now, Holly.
Basically, around
Okay, that's good because we did not introduce ourselves very well. Because everyone ramble on, but I also it's like how much do you know? That'll be a big
it's like Paula, bragging rights, a little update on what you've been learning.
Yeah, celebration really, so sort of pick, we've all probably got loads, but pick one thing that that's been kind of stand out.
You can still say what you're going to do based on what you've learned.
So are you private?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't introduce myself very well, so I thought we were up against it. We're basically private small business that are trying to help non-profits and other businesses that do good for communities to improve their digital presence, websites and stuff like that.
Not long, only a minute.
Yeah, so we're trying to help because that does make a huge difference to how many funders you'll get, how many donations you receive, how many referrals you get through, volunteers you get signed up, all that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, we definitely. It's lovely looking, but it's redundant.
It's all about how a website feels and how more people interact with it. It's not just about how it looks, because there's a lot more to it. How it looks, it being shiny, well branded, if that makes sense. So,
I think probably, high priority, what we perceive as high priorities and so we know it needs to be attended to and resolved and approved. So it looks nice, it's all nice and shiny and stuff, but it's at the moment it's in neutral at the moment, it needs to be put in year 5 and it needs to be really fast forward.
It makes sense because you've got more important things to be getting on with, like the actual services to provide for people.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, typically in a small organisation, you're right there.
I mean, I know it's on
you're busy as it is, so usually the work we do is expensive, but we're trying to put together many important organisations that are usually priced out as getting this kind of work.
Next year, so we're going through
I'm not going to put
together in terms of what the benefits will be. And then
that would be amazing if you allowed us to.
Oh yeah. It helps everybody in the room.
And either way, we'll be giving out free guidance and tips and stuff like that. So, everyone can have just phones and hire us, even when we're trying to get ourselves more affordable, the consultant world is just coming from. So we're going to try and get out free guidance and content as we can as well to help people.
Yeah, it'd be really good to talk. Yes. Yeah, I hate to work, I hate that reversion. Yeah, definitely. We can see that return. Yeah, that mid, like here, yeah, spring, like September, something. We need to figure out a way of talking about the students. I don't forget about that. Wasn't you said earlier, but we did that. We're trying to do that. For the 20th
So you just know what time you think because you host way of school, you're basically getting is it like TikTok? No kind of barrier, so you don't need any kind of background in it. But you create
a really prosperous future. We've got a lot of things to work out. It helps when we to events like this.
Right, can we have, if you're ready to come back?
Matthew's the fastest Wakefield. It's like Bridget, I used to work with Bridget, and I didn't think that she'd be here, and I was like, so she was here. She's a rock star in the third track. She's amazing. She really is. I remember like working with her when I was inspector, and I'd be leaving to like still there, carrying on with that, take a break, but yeah, she genuinely was. Having come from the world that we've just come from, isn't it? It's a bit of a shock to the system. Yeah, we're coming from a world where it's been as coffee as possible. We're saying, just to show. The priorities are so different, the language is different, it'll take a while to get back into this one.
Didn't even notice it. Do you like babies? See, I love to I was so fantastic. Last week the second one. But actually, I love to my suspects that they did like their version of babies, but in Mary.
Right, we're going to make a start back and let people rejoin as they rejoin. yeah, round the room bragging rights. So obviously we are kind of running a bit tight now, but if everybody that wants to, just take a minute and reflect on one kind of standout thing that they're really proud of, not either for your organisation or for the person or group that it affected, and a very quick sort of 2024 plan. We've got the time, we've got the stopwatch. So we'll start with Jill.
Oh, thanks.
So, yeah, so 30 seconds on standout brag, 30 seconds on 24.
Okay, I think, well, the brag's got to be setting up the service. You know, it's a bit of a nightmare, isn't it? Yes, mobilise a new service, but in a new area as well. So previously worked in Leeds, so that was the biggest challenge, really, just connecting with people. But people have been really amazing across the district, really welcoming, and each time we go to a different team's meeting, then it opens up the gates of referrals, which is great. We are already looking for another member of staff, so we have got an ad out for another team member. We've shortlisted, we've got about 20 applicants last time. I didn't shortlist one. I am quite a harsh shortlister though, but yeah, so I think it's kind of similar across the sector that you tend to find you go out a number of times. So we're hoping, yeah, we're going to leave it out a bit longer this time, mid-January closing date for that. So we're hoping that, yeah, we really need, yeah, we need that other team member.
Fantastic.
To be able to keep up with the demand.
Thank you very much. Elizabeth?
I don't know what I'm going to say. I've been in post for 6 months, and I would say as well, I've had a really welcoming time coming into Wakefield services, and that's been really nice. I feel like I'm starting to find my feet, and I'm starting to get good links with different organisations, groups, teams and services, so it's starting to really impact the service that we offer on an evening, and we're seeing a huge increase in new referrals, which is really good and really positive. And for 2024 we're looking at a rebrand, and there's been a lot of co-production work been going on over the last few months, so hopefully in January, February time that will get launched. So watch this space.
Amazing, thank you. Take the floor then.
Yeah, John Pearson, Touchstone, worked with Jill, been with Touchstone since July this year, so new service just set up. We're not unique, but one of the things that we do that is a little bit unusual is that we're outreach workers, so we actually go into people's homes and meet them there if we can, and we'll see them wherever they want to see us. If they want to see us here at St George's or out in the community somewhere, but we prefer, if we can, see them on the home turf. So actually go into people's homes, meet with them and talk about, we are person-centred, so it's very much about them. They read us as to what they want from the service, and then we try to provide. It's all about the service user for us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Scott?
Yeah, so I know obviously we had our AGM last week, so it was good to see so many faces at that, and obviously presented some updates there. I think one of the most exciting developments for us, I can't believe it's still ongoing, but we developed a new CRM, bespoke CRM system. You know, when we talk about core costs and things like that, Nova's core grant from the council and the healthcare partnership has always been on a 1-year basis. So it's very difficult to make big investments in new pieces of technology, as you know, as life-changing as they can be, when you kind of think, well, you know, by the time we develop this, we might not even be still doing this work, or we don't know what the financial package will look like. So we did get a 3-year agreement, which allowed us to kind of pull the trigger on that. And you know, when we talk about my awareness of some of the other streams of work, even sort of these sort of meetings, I know different representatives come. We've got, like everyone else, you know, spreadsheets everywhere, and it's just bringing all that intelligence together so that we're a lot more aligned as an organisation, a lot more transparent as our work grows. We're working on a few funding opportunities through the framework for different bits and bobs. We want to look at like the learning, the open access use stuff we're in discussions around that last year. That were a real mess, really. I don't know if it affected you too much, but if anyone saw that, it went out in 3 different pots for 3 different geographical areas. Some of them went out multiple times, and I think by the end people were saying, "What? Like, we had this. This has been that." So luckily, commissioners have learned from that, and they're going to try and make it a little bit easier for organisations and particularly the ones that are already delivering this time around, but also, you know, allowing that space for anyone to kind of bring new skills and new ideas in, and also, you know, minimum wage is scheduled to go up and everything like that, so it gives organisations a chance to look at their own costs and reevaluate their offer. So yeah, lots going on. I'm hoping that I will at least get a couple of days before the Christmas breaks, you know, just pop my feet up, but that's not likely at the minute.
Thank you, Scott. Go.
So I'm Debbie. I work with people with learning disabilities and work with GP practices and primary care networks. We recently had the leader report published for West Yorkshire, and I've had the opportunity to share the learning from that and share what it is to hopefully help people know not to be frightened of it and to engage in it and to report it. Have any of you heard of LEADER? No. So LEADER is a review of the life and the death of a person with a learning disability, and every person with a learning disability's death should be reported to LEADER so that we can learn what went well and share that, and what hasn't gone so well, whether that's been with parents, GP practices or the care agency that people haven't picked up early enough on health inequalities, or these people are still dying far too young. The gap is roughly 24 years, it varies in different areas, but the gap is still there, so you've got a lot of work to do. So I've had the opportunity to present this at the Learning Disabilities Partnership Board. I've been to practice managers meetings, to the primary care network business managers meetings, just to share what we need to be doing. So that's, and then next year we're going to look at whether we can run reports of deaths so that we can see if there's been people not reported, because the numbers that we've got reported are significantly lower than the number of deaths we've had, so we're not necessarily knowing where to concentrate efforts to improve healthcare for people if we haven't got the accurate data. So the more reports, hopefully less deaths obviously, but if there is a death, we need to know and make good of that life that that person's had.
Thank you.
I think my celebration is I feel very fortunate that I've got an absolutely fantastic bunch of colleagues. They absolutely, you know, I'm the chief exec, stands for, this is my jokey bit, can't even organise, because I don't need to, because I've got these guys and they're phenomenal. I also think that the celebration for next year, the plans for next year, I'm really proud that we were part of the Health Determinants Research Collaborative bid that has come to the Department for Health and Social Care. And Wakefield Council were successful in getting that. It's £1 million a year for 5 years. And we believe ourselves and Prosper represent our voluntary sector organisations in that bid, and we actually think that that was one of the reasons that they got it, because they're really doing some genuine community insight. So really quite excited. Jade is gonna go, don't do this to me, but 2 days of Jade's work will be funded for the next 5 years about engagement, so community engagement. And we will be hosting a research fellow here at St George's from Leeds Beckett University. And then Prosper will be leading on the community journalism, community researchers project. So watch this space. The first year we'll be setting up and getting everything sorted, but the way I sort of talk about it is a bit like a live census. So you have genuine evidence that hopefully decision makers will have to listen to, and they'll invest money based on that. So really quite excited about that for 2024.
Thank you very much.
Not quite sure how to follow that. I don't feel like the 2023 brand is quite mine to make, but I don't. Some of you will remember, certainly yourself, that I led a consortium approach to getting some funding for active field football in the southeast of the district about a year in now, and it's just going from strength to strength. There's people playing football and getting active, so it's not all about football. Things like there's been a community creche being set up, and one of the women that helped set that up is now trained to do some soccer sides, and she leads a women's football team. She's also becoming the chairperson within the club, so there's some really good stories coming out. We're hearing from one person that they're at quite a low point when they started taking up the activity, and they said if it wasn't for activity through football, they don't think they'd be here now. So we're getting some real stories. So I did the legwork of getting the funding in. I still sit on the consulting and support the project closely, but it's just, you know, when you start seeing you thought something might work in a certain way, and some of it does and some of it doesn't, of course, but yeah,
it's even better than you.
Yeah, and all credit to the team that are working on that in the South East. I'm really pleased about that. 2024 coming up and working on it now. We've got some funding from Sport England to look at taking a place-based approach within the whole systems context.
Yay!
Yeah. Which basically means trying to work at community level much more closely, investing into community work, but at the same time trying to unlock some of those sticky issues that we know come time and time again when it means that, you know, when you're trying to make sustainable change and you can't because some of the processes and bureaucracy are getting in the way. So we've, thank you, some of the people in this room, Bridget was here, which is gone now, we're in a theory of change workshop, which wasn't quite as boring as it sounds.
I really enjoyed it, yeah.
Where we're looking at what the changes that this work could bring about and how we might use that as an underpinning for our evaluation. There's a lot of conditions with this funding to me. I feel like I've been working on it forever, but hopefully in 2024, we'll met the conditions, we can get our hands on the money and get something in work done.
Very good, very good. I'm really, really conscious of time. Obviously, we're at time now. 2 more people. First hands go up. Anyone want to? Yeah, go on.
2023 celebrations, even though I've been in health and social care for nearly 30 years, my celebration is that I successfully am part of Nova and the Live Well team. And my 2024 plan is to get to know every single one of you in this room and to start networking and enhancing my skills and complement what you guys do. So that's my 2024 plan. My name's Jazz, by the way, get to know me.
And Jazz is today's winner. Please have yourself to a mince pie.
Well, I'm going to make this a personal celebration because I'm between, well, not between jobs, just starting my new role. So my personal celebration actually is going to be, I've realised this year the value of my lived experience in actually helping other people and through all the work that we've done. So it's like, I've helped to, well, it was at Reflections mainly, but helped create a mentoring package for the guys in drug and alcohol treatment, a sporting package, and then also young people's intervention and diversion. So going on into the next year, I'm going to be doing that gasped instead. But the value of lived experience has been amazing, and just, you know, I was always conscious about, you know, just telling my story, but now I realise that actually a lot of people get identification, and it's not so much circumstances, it's the feelings that are attached to that story. People do identify them. Yeah, that's me.
Amazing. Well, thank you, everybody. Sorry we didn't get around everybody. So just very, very quickly, we have changed the look of the meetings for next year, but we'd love your feedback on that. So we would like to make them more workshop based, so because we're so appreciative of everybody's time. We want you to get some value out of these as well as the networking. We want you to make a priority to come to, you know, because you're good, you know that you're going to get something out of it. So we've changed the dates. They're all up on the Nova website in the events section. All the 2024 dates are in there. They're still going to be every other month. We've changed it up a little bit, so some are Tuesdays, some are Thursdays, because obviously if you can't make Thursdays because you're doing something, you're never going to be able to make Thursdays. So we've changed it up a little bit. Alice and the Nova team have been amazing. They've kind of really put it kind of more front and foremost within what Nova do, which is great, so more easily seen. So some of the subjects that we are thinking of, and we things are not set in stone. We haven't got sort of speakers booked for them as yet, but building relationships with the funders, so that would be around almost like, what do the funders see that actually they might not get a chance to feed back, but it's a recurring thing that kind of automatically knocks bids out, but actually the rest of it might be great. You know, so it's going to be a learning experience. It's just sort of like, oh right, yeah, I've done that. I've copied and pasted from JSNA in every bit, and that might not be the best use, especially if it's a word restricted section. So that's going to be that kind of workshop. So in line with the new financial year, what does forecasting look like? I know that's something that perhaps the bigger organisations are very good at, smaller organisations maybe not so much. Managing capacity, so obviously the volunteers, I know that we're very, very busy in the summer, but actually come December, we're not delivering a lot of the sessions that we do. Our volunteers kind of do weekly things anyway, but as we're looking to bring on more volunteers, how do we keep them engaged for when we need them, but like still keep them engaged when it's a little bit quieter? So that's that sort of idea. New business generation, so again, diversity in your income, again, sort of something that's quite important and not a dirty word. And let's say social, so this would be around use of social media, really. So their ideas, we would love your feedback. I made a QR code, took me about half an hour.
Someone please use it.
I don't know how to do it.
I know, right? So, I mean, I'm happy to do a workshop on that now. So, yeah, but there's a link as well. So I'll send the link in the follow-up email. But while you're here, zap the QR code. It takes you to a Nova form, which is a feedback form. It takes less than 2 minutes to complete. We need your feedback, you know. Tell us what you think. Tell us if these need to be longer, shorter. You want them meant to be networking. Are you getting enough time to actually do the networking? So that kind of information. We promise we won't take it personally. Like I said, we want these to be of value to you all. And with that, you can do a little dance.
Just, I mean, I know it's like a year on and things like this are never easy to coordinate, so, you know, kudos to you two guys, because I know sometimes you put a lot of work in behind the scenes and, you know, you might look around the room, not today, you know, it's a very full meeting, but when people are not always being there, but I think, you know, that the feedback's really key to supporting you guys to learn and obviously, you know, the suggestions that are on there, if you think like they're really good to, you know, for other people to do X, Y and Z, then please get it in there. But yeah, just congratulations and look forward to seeing it develop further next year.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Next meeting is February, and it's the Prince of Wales Hospice. There is opportunity on that form as well to let us know if you're able to host future meetings. So if you've got the space, get us in there, that'd be great. No, we're okay. Thank you everyone. Please, if you haven't got time to stay, please do take the mince pies. There's about 7,000 of them. Please take them back for your guys. I don't know, are we alright if people do want to hang about for 10 minutes? Are we alright for the room, yeah? Thank you. Thank you very much. Alright, thanks everyone. Have a lovely Christmas.
Earlier, I recognised and when you spoke, I we could catch up.
Me too. That's my entire life. Apart from being a Monday morning and being quite tired. I know.
Yeah, it's actually more time.